Best bets on the board. I absolutely, whatever the Oregon TTP is against USC, and I'm probably going to take the over 2 at 73.5, even though I love Dan Lanning and what he does on defense. I think Oregon may score every time they get the ball. I wouldn't be shocked if Caleb Williams then put up a really good fight, try and come back and get a little bit of honor. I know a lot of people are thinking they're going to be down and not going to do anything, but it's going to be hard for me not to take everything I've ever made and put it on the Oregon TTP. I don't care what it is, because I think Bo Nix, trying to win the Heisman like he is with Michael Penix. They both got big games this weekend, right? You're going to get another shot at him, most likely in the Pac-12 championship game if it works out the way I think. I absolutely love the Oregon TTP. I love the over 73.5. And another one I love, South Carolina -14 at home against Vanderbilt. I know against Jacksonville State, South Carolina didn't look fantastic. You cannot lose against Vanderbilt. Shane knows they can't lose against Vanderbilt. I would buy this thing down to 13.5, and I would pound South Carolina this weekend. Vanderbilt's offensive line is so bad. South Carolina's front seven is going to look better. Juice Wells was running around a little bit this week. Do not be shocked at all if South Carolina comes out, drops Vanderbilt by 28 points.
On the Oregon TTP, is there any worry at all here that with Alex Grinch getting fired this week, those assistant coaches that have been promoted to co-defensive coordinators, that somehow galvanizes USC's defense? Or is it just a personnel problem that Oregon's going to run through all game?
I think most of it's a personnel problem, but I think a lot of those guys on the defense side of the ball know that Alex Grinch helped hire them too. And now that he's gone, they're really just filling an office space until either Dave Aranda gets fired from Baylor or Jim Leonard comes home or Lincoln Riley picks somebody else. I think this is USC just trying to get through it. Guys, not that they don't care anymore, but you kind of go through the motions. Offensively, obviously Lincoln's going to have a good plan. I legitimately think Oregon may score 60 points in this game.
Wouldn't shock me. Blaine, what are your best bets week 11?
Well, let's start here. I love Alabama -10.5 against Kentucky. And a lot of people are going to be like, well, it's on the road. It's a trap game. If Milroe plays anything close to the way he played last week, I'm telling you, Bama are going to start rolling kids. Devin Leary's played some of his best football the last couple of weeks.
Don't trust him.
I can see that, but I want to see that against an Alabama defense and a front seven that can get to you. That's what I really like. And Ohio State has who this week? Doesn't matter. Going to be a murder. 100%. And I love Michigan.
Michigan State.
Michigan, 33.5, I think. Yeah, great win last week, Michigan against Nebraska. Hey, you get father and son in the driveway.
Michigan State.
Michigan State, great win against Nebraska last week.
Yeah. You said Michigan. I was just saying.
Okay. But I also like Michigan -4.5 against Penn State.
I do too.
Roll them. Gonna absolute roll them. I mean, we talked about James Franklin, whole entire playbooks is the short pass section when you play NCAA football. That's what it is. Freak out in the third quarter.
It's not multiple or West Coast.
And just say hi, close his eyes, and throw it deep a couple plays. And even if Michigan didn't cover against Purdue last week, they played phenomenal. They looked great. Still a couple questions, maybe a little bit on defense, but I think Michigan's a lot better football team than what Penn State is.
Two things. How do we feel about the over under 44?
I like the over.
Penn State.
I don't want the over-under. I like Michigan -4.5, and it's not a night game. That's a big thing. This is a big new kickoff game. That affects the spread in this to me.
Well, let me ask you this, too. Do you think this game is going to get bet down a little bit more because it's at Penn State? It's at 4.5 right now. I think there's some value in waiting a couple days.
I do, too. Oh, you think it's going to go up?
You think it's
already, I mean, it's 4.5 on DraftKings. Or I got bet up to 5.5 on other books. It's going to get, public's going to lay Michigan. 100%.
I don't like it any more than where it is right now, to be honest. I mean, Penn State's going to be at home. They're going to get up for this game. J.J. McCarthy was a little inaccurate with the football last week. We saw that. Both Michigan needs this win in a big way because of all of the stuff surrounding the program right now. And even before all of these allegations with the advanced scouting, the narrative was, well, they don't play a tough schedule this year. This is one everyone had circled. You're going on the road to a Penn State team that's, what are they now, 7-1? Mm-hmm. You need to win this football game.
Two more that I like that are a group of 5. I like James Madison, UConn over 48.5 because I think James Madison may score 60 points in this game. You watch what Tennessee did to UConn last week. UConn defensively is awful. I think UConn can score a couple touchdowns in this game against James Madison. I know that James Madison just had a big injury. I think it was their running back, but I love McLeod, their quarterback. I like the over 48.5. And then Memphis, love them -11 over Charlotte. Charlotte couldn't score against a group of blind kids. Memphis right now on offense is absolutely lighting up the scoreboard. I like Hannigan. I like Silverfield over there. Give me Memphis -11 at Charlotte, even though Biff Poggi may be one of the best names I've ever heard in the history of college football.
Good one. What about, you talking about Alabama, Kentucky, what about the under in that game, 47.5? That's one that I like. I put that one down.
I just get worried about games like
that if Alabama just freaks out on offense.
Yeah.
But even if they do, they're going to get to a point where they'd want to run the ball if they're up a lot, and Kentucky wants to run.
Well, what scares me is Devin Leary makes like I just don't trust Devin Leary to not throw a couple pick sixes or get that strip.
That could be a good point. That could be a good point. Iowa Rutgers under is at 29.
Dude,
good, love it.
It's at 29.
Take the under,
and I'm still going to take it.
Yeah,
like I hit it last week.
Yeah, you should. I told even Reed, my wife was like, "What? What do you mean 29?"
Louisville UVA under 50 minus 108. The way the Louisville defense has been playing.
Dude, I know what's the side on that? What's the side? Because man, Louisville right now, they covered for me last week. It wasn't even close. That was like stealing.
20 and a half.
20 and a half is what I mean
in that game.
Virginia
that just feels like a game I won't touch.
Just Virginia's a weird team. I mean, on Friday, I tell you another good one. North Texas and SMU. That over 67.5. These are two offenses. I know North Texas and UTSA didn't hit the 71.5 last week. I watched SMU score like 50 points at halftime.
56 at halftime.
Yeah, Rhett Lashley's letting the dog eat.
Yeah, he is.
I love if Jane Daniels is playing the over/under in the Florida game.
I gotta wait.
Is he playing?
See that one.
62.5.
Yeah.
Hell, even if the Nuss Bus is in there, I'll probably take the over as well.
What about Auburn money line at Arkansas?
Not touching.
Plus 130.
I would take Arkansas
money line.
The way Auburn's playing.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, well, look, I don't trust. It's hard for me to still trust Peyton Thorne on the road because while Arkansas isn't great, they're way better than Vanderbilt.
What about Oklahoma State money line minus 135? They got UCF on the road. I believe they have UCF on the road.
Gus always flukes up.
Is this an over?
Is this a letdown after Bedlam?
Is this an over?
It feels like it, right? It feels like we did what we needed to do. I think Gus runs 13 reverses.
They're 7-2. They could play in the Big 12 championship game.
I mean, look, Gus always does this though, man.
He does.
Like it's so up and down. What do we think about that Wisconsin Northwestern over under 42.5?
Under. Don't have to
under,
look at
right?
Under.
It has a 4 in front of it. I'm taking the under.
Hey, Clemson.
Hell, it may be 4.5. I'd still take the under. The way it's going now with Wisconsin and then Northwestern, and watched them score like that. It was like the 9th highest scoring game at Wrigley this year with Northwestern and Iowa last week.
That's a stat that I wanted to pull
Get
up.
outscored by like the Marlins.
Yeah, there was like 9 baseball games at Wrigley Field or something that had a higher score than the football game.
We want to know, what's your best bet? Tell us your best bet in the comments, in the chat as well. All right, speaking about live on the show, let's get to the chat.
All right, let's go to some donations here. We're going to kind of track back a little bit.
Yeah, we've got a lot of games to get to.
It's been a minute. Let's go to Jake's Extra Strong Cologne with a $2 donation.
There he is.
Smelling good, especially with that jean jacket on. I know you love that. Says, are we witnessing Lane's Kiffin peak at Ole Miss?
Well, I think this is one of the reasons why Ole Miss is such a great destination for Lane Kiffin. Is because every 3 to 4 years you have this kind of pop where you're able to go win 10. Mm. We saw what he did with Matt Corral, but the way they're going about this one's a little bit different. Like, this isn't just a high-flying offense. Let's just try and just hold the line defensively. I think they can set the tone a little bit on defense. I think this has a little bit of a different flavor and maybe a sign that Lane Kiffin is building something a little more physical, a little more balanced, which kind of separates him from, I don't know, maybe Lincoln Riley, even though I know USC and Ole Miss are two different places. I like Lane Kiffin. I think Lane Kiffin has the ability to grow as a head coach. I think this is why it's the perfect fit. You go have a big year this year. Who knows how it's going to end? Kind of buys you a little more equity to maybe take a step back for a year. Not really 2, but take a step back for a year and then get back to building.
Let's go to Tyler Jarvis with a $10 donation. T-Jar, appreciate it, brother. He says, Dear Lord, can somebody come fix turnover Van Dyke at Miami?
Bad.
David Michigan, got any eligibility left? Here's the FSU beating us by 100. Go Canes. Somebody kill me, please.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's bad. Like, if you've watched it, it's bad. Every turnover is not created equally, right? Some are just egregious. Some are unfortunate.
Quarterback's fault.
Again, Van Dyke is legitimately just throwing it to the other team at this point.
But it wasn't bad for a while. It wasn't bad there.
Yeah, but then
and even bounced back after the Georgia Tech debacle, and you played North Carolina close, then beat Clemson.
Then you
had to beat Virginia in overtime. Not a great look.
Got a dog.
And then 20-6 against North Carolina State.
Yeah. It's not good.
It's a tough situation. All right, let's go to Jason V with a $5 donation. Jason, thank you, sir. It's a great show, guys. Appreciate it, Jason. He says, compared the sack this year to the penalty Florida got last year on the LSU QB. I believe he was talking about Dallas Turner. And what are our thoughts on the LSU Florida game this weekend?
Yeah, I think he's comparing an LSU hit to the one that Dallas Turner had last week and saying, well, if he's a dirty player, then that must make him a dirty player. Compare what? What was the second part of that? Sorry.
What's our thoughts on the LSU and Florida game this week?
Well, you got to see Jaden Daniels' health, but the best part about this for LSU, if there is a best part, Silver Linings playbook, is you got a guy in Nussmeier that can come in and operate the offense. Now, not to the level of Jaden Daniels. I don't know if there's a person on the planet in college football right now that can operate this on the level that Jaden Daniels has, but you have built-in weapons around you. You have a good run game. How does Florida bounce back from the Arkansas game? Well, you got a great opportunity to go beat LSU on the road. Do I think they'll do it? No, I don't. I do like the over in this game, Blaine. The more I think about it, it was 63.5 is what you said?
63.5, man. I just don't feel like that's enough.
Even without Jaden Daniels. Like, with Jaden Daniels? Yeah, please. Thank you. But when it comes to Florida, Billy, I think they have the ability to bounce back. We saw them bounce back after Utah. We've seen them bounce back multiple times, but we've also seen them fall flat on their face. I don't trust Florida on the road. That's the problem, right? They've had one good showing on the road. Outside of that, it's been bad.
Let's go to Taylor Russell. What's up, Taylor? He says, Miami giving away free tickets to fans and still can't sell out. It's a poverty program. They're always on the road.
Yeah, it's sad, man. It really is sad, especially, when you see what Florida State's doing and what this could mean if Miami could pull this upset off. It's one thing, and I talked about this with Oklahoma State, it's one thing to, keep yourself in the running for a conference championship and possibly a national championship. It's another thing, if you're kind of out of the running, to ruin it for your arch rival. That carries a lot of weight. You have that opportunity. Now, it is at Florida State this week. He's talking about the other games that Miami plays at home. But yeah, it's one of the biggest problems with Miami is that they're very, when it's going good, I don't want to call their fan base front runners, but not all of them. But when they're going good, it's good.
Well, it's just like Miami.
It's not elite.
Same type of
good.
place, man. It's just Miami's all. It's Hollywood. That's what it is.
Hollywood of the South.
Yeah, they don't care about football anymore. They care about flag.
Well, there's a lot.
Like
of
Miami used to be like, hey, we're here. Like, look, come outside, dog. We're gonna find out.
Well, I think Miami's
now. It's talk to my lawyer.
Yeah. Well, you look at how many teams are in that state. Number one, but number two, I think there's a lot more people that are like, hey, I'm going to the Dolphins game on Sunday than hey, I'm going to the Canes game on Saturday. Now, if Miami starts cooking, like really starts cooking, that place will start. It'll start getting going. But it's just sad they don't have that consistent, And we've said this about other schools. It's not just Miami, but there's a lot to do. Hey, YouTube, thanks for stopping by. As a guy in the jean jacket, I obviously know what I'm talking about. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, turn that notification bell on so you know when we're dropping content. Basketball season just got here as well. Join the party.